Alright, in this episode of Game of Names, I'm only going to do 3 people. J.R.R. Tolkien, and then Frodo and Sam. J.R.R. Tolkien, his initials are literally a J, which is coming into tense, 2 R's upon themselves, a reference upon itself, or active here upon itself, plus T, to any. So, bringing it to tense, a reference upon itself, to any. He's a very well-known writer. Now, break it into his full name, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. John is like a name where, almost like the word join, but it's an H, 1 letter before I. Because John, just like if you were having a male client for a prostitute, you call them a John. Or when you sit on the toilet, you call it the John. Because it's what's happening in tense. It's intense, ongoing here notion. But then if you tie that to Ronald, unlike the word wrong, which is W-R-O-N-G, because it's a plural reference ongoing notion generated and grouped, instead of a singular, when you use the word right, it's literally the reference identified, generated and grouped, here, plus. So therefore it's one thing, reference, identified, generated here, plus. So it's right. If you have a plural reference ongoing notion generated and grouped, it's plural. So it's not. It's wrong. See how simple that is when you actually understand why? Because you can't have a plural, singular answer, wrong. But now take the W off, and he's referencing ongoing notion, active as it lie, to and from. And then when you tie that to the next name, rule, someone who wants to reference the ongoing notion, active as it lies, to and from, to rule, and then Tolkien, the tolls of our kin, or instead of talking, it's like the word talk with an O, so it's ongoing. He's writing books about the tolls of our kin, to rule, the wrongs of old, to bring into tense the ongoing here notion, the wrongs of old, to rule, and the tolls of our kin. His birthday being January, active, 3rd, constant to itself, and then 1892, referencing identified base. So if you wanted to rule the land, the identified base, then you would literally action, constant to itself. So that's literally his name, who he is, what he did, and what he's well known for. So now, you could go more and more into it, like the word rule, R-E-U-E-L, referencing expressed, underlying, expressed, as it lie, is like if you go from left to right, you're going L to R. He's going from R to L, and it's literally the word rule, but not R-U-L-E, R-E-U-E-L. U-E-L like the word duel, but with an R-E in front of it, referencing expressed, underlying, expressed, ling. The things that we're doing, the fighting for. So hopefully you can actually just look at that and understand it, because I've been breaking this stuff down for a while, and it should make sense because letters mean what letters mean. And then words are formulated out of those letters, and people vibrate with them. So that's J.R.R. Tolkien. So how about Frodo Baggins, Elijah Jordan Wood? I mean, I want people to just think about it, that it's not just a coincidence that Hollywood is Holly, as in here ongoing, between 2 L's or 2 L's equal X. It's not hex, it's hoaxy, but at the same time it's H-O-L-L, so between 2 L's, by the identified plural, ongoing upon itself, to and from. It's a magic word, Hollywood. When you say the word wood, that's almost like a plural thing being viewed. When you look out at the wood, some people say woods without an S, without the plural S. They'll say, I live in the wood. But at the same time, you can just say a piece of wood. Now it's been pluralized from a tree that it was into some kind of piece. So you're saying wood, ongoing upon itself, to and from itself, because it's plural. So it's wood. So when you say wood as a person's name, it usually means a plural vitality, ongoing upon itself, to and from. Wood. Now, Elijah, E-L, it resonates with one of the original God names, but just say expressing as it lie or expressing ling, identified, intense, active, here. And then his middle name being Jordan, the journey of truth, the journey of Dan, but just say coming into tense, ongoing reference. So from Elijah to a intense, ongoing reference, dia, or to and from, active notion. And then wood is plural, ongoing upon itself, to and from. So he's going to play other characters, and other people are going to see it. That's literally what his name would be. And his birthday being January A, action. 28, based here, or between two spaces, in space. And then 1981, subjecting here, active. That's exactly what he does, of course. But I'm saying, see how this resonates with people straight away. It always does. And with his names being Elijah Jordan Wood, of course he's going to do things that resonate with his name, and it just seems like a coincidence. The character in this movie that has the ring itself, which is like the power that is godly, and he's got Elijah and Jordan, like the journey of truth, the one to the center to dispose of the ring. His name resonates with more of the main character. Of course, after Frodo, you have to have Samwise Gamgee, Sean Astin. Subject expressed active notion. Active subject plus identified notion. And then he was born as Sean Patrick Duke, the son of Patty Duke. So you have subject expressing active notion. Potential active plus reference identified constant to itself kinetic. Duke, like something that's more than yourself. To and from the unit, kinetically expressing. Born on February, base or 2. 25th, base expression. 25 is BE, based expression, or vitally identified, the Y. 1971, subjecting or actively identified, generated and grouped, active. See how his name is perfect for somebody who's going to be an actor. It resonates very strongly with him, and he's done it his whole life since he was just a little kid in the Goonies and stuff. I'm only going to do these 3 guys in this episode of Game of Names, but do you see how everything aligns with what people are doing? It's not just weird or coincidental. It just might be too much for people to understand that they're hustling and bustling out in their everyday life. But this is about who we all are underneath it all. As an interesting little side note, my brother Chuck has been up this weekend, and we just got finished watching The Hobbit, then The Lord of the Rings in order, and then I did this recording of J.R.R. Tolkien and Elijah Wood and Sean Astin this afternoon. And today is Friday. The pictures that I took of Frodo Baggins or Elijah Wood and Sean Astin just to do that little recording for the Game of Names this afternoon was last night after we got done doing it. And today when I was recording it, of course, I was looking at the pictures that I was using for the recordings. Just noticed that Elijah Wood is born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So I get done recording that. We go in the house, or I go in the house, and, we do our normal Wheel of Fortune thing. And the very first puzzle is location, and it is Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Of all places to be just that random. See, weird little tiny stuff like that happens one after another, after another, after another, every day, all the time with me. And I point it out to people all the time. And it's not just coincidental or synchronicities, it's all the time. And that happens on big spectrums too. But then when I talk about the things that I see, they happen. Could you imagine if your life was like that? Mine is. So therefore, I just try to stay mellow and want to do things with people who want to be active and together in real life and be alive and, be real people. And there's nothing against technology, but that's not where I want to be. I want to live in a world that actually is alive and moving and breathing and living. That's possible. I know it because that's what I'm trying to do with as many people as I can find that believe nature is kind of important here. And we've been forgetting about it a lot. And that should be sort of our first priority, to save or to heal the place that we've been doing so much damage to. Anyway, that was just a coincidence that happened right after I did those recordings today. I went in and sat with them, and we were just talking about Lord of the Rings from last night, and then Wheel of Fortune started, and the first thing was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa was there. And it's the first puzzle on Wheel of Fortune. That kind of weird shit happens all the time, and it's too funny when I point it out to people, but then when I get into the spooky stuff, all I do is spook people. So, what would you do in that situation? Just talk about the cool and little quinky-dinky stuff, not the stuff that makes people go like, whoa, that's freaky. And I'm like, I know it is, but what would you do, And nobody has an answer because nobody understands it, and if I explain it to them, it makes a little bit of sense, but then they don't get it because they don't sense it or feel it like that, and I can't make them. And I understand. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, and I will talk to you soon.
Peace and God bless.